I agree with all of that. And just to kind of add a few points and then go on. But first, obviously the great thing about being in a town hall room is they leave the lights on so we can see you and sadly you can see us. Whereas most of the rooms in meetings in here are being kind of like shrouded in darkness. So hopefully there's a metaphor in this for the session. As well as the urgency of global warming, and I know David would agree with these points, it's not just the world getting hotter, and January and February are apparently on both surface temperature and air temperature the hottest ever, or the second hottest ever in human history. So don't believe the naysayers. The world is warming up, and it's warming up at a faster pace. It's also the instability that comes with that. And that has huge impacts that go for population, water, food security, and so on. So all of these issues are interlinked, they're complex, they're connected. We have to deal with them. We have to deal with them now. Now is the time when we have to rise to this challenge. What's a green economy? I think a green economy is one where we value economic, social, environmental, and I'm also going to say spiritual capital as much. And I'll go on to say a bit more about why I put that in there. But at this session at Globe, one of the reflections I would say is it's kind of like there hasn't been a world credit crunch out there. There's very little conversation about the recession, the credit crunch, and the causes of it. And if you talk to people who made really stupid decisions at boardroom level, a lot of it is about behavior, it's about culture, it's about stupidity, it's about not speaking up when something felt wrong. And that's how we got into a situation where trader parts got wrapped up in complex derivatives and disguised as things of worth and value, which kind of takes you back to what is a green economy, because a green economy has got to have a different sense of what is value and what has value. And at the moment, all of our tools, it seems to me, are flawed. So kind of reflecting on Globe, it's really struck by the progress of the trade fair from this one to the one previously. It kind of felt real this year. It feels like there's some real stuff happening. It was great to come out of the wave power session earlier, which kind of, you know, I mean, I say this with great respect and affection and fondness. You know, the world will be saved when the geeks inherit the earth. And that was a room full of wave geeks. And they were making it happen. And there was great stuff going on in Scotland, in the south of England, and in Canada. And the room was full to bursting. And you kind of felt we're just beginning to get real with this stuff, when 2 years ago we were talking about getting real. But I miss being here. I miss my kids. And it kind of gave me the image of a kaleidoscope. You know, you're looking down it, you're seeing some pictures, you're seeing some pieces of the whole. But we kind of really, really quickly need to turn the kaleidoscope the other way around so we can see the whole picture. And we need to start bringing the present into the future and working back to a much clearer sense of how we're going to live and work in the future. And I don't think that's going to be framed so much by things, by kind of flying cars and stuff like that. I think it's a new mindset and one which, as I say, values economic, social, environmental capital. We would not deal with, if we were sitting around at the start of the Industrial Revolution, pontificating about the next 10, 20, 50 years, in truth, looking back now, those guys would have had, and they probably were mostly guys, that even the visionaries like Brunel would have had very little sense about the totality of the change that would have been wrought within a generation or two. So the kind of incrementalism that seems to me to be kind of okay now in places like this again because of the climate science kind of foot off the accelerator, which is wrong, but nevertheless kind of there, that you're hearing, which kind of says, well, we'll see how it goes and we'll do our bit and we'll, you know, there's some good stuff going, so give us the time and we'll get our act together, isn't fast enough. But also it doesn't reflect the exponential change that is possible and that human history evidences and that technology and innovation clearly bring to bear over the last few years in how we communicate, how we take our media, our entertainment and so on, and which we now need to bring to bear, establishing the right frameworks and the right relationships between government, business and civil society, which is why just inspiring to hear you speak, Minister, which help to accelerate that change of consciousness and perspective and enable us to bring that green economy to bear in the future. So that's probably enough to get going. Thank you very much.